Hello everyone, welcome to another video on my channel. I am Marshall3498, and today's topic, what I'd like to talk a little bit about is some of my personal experiences I've had dealing with, and I'd like to share them with my viewers, is how to tour comfortably on a motorcycle. And from my experience, there's three really big things, three real big things to stay comfortable. First one is appropriate riding gear and clothing. Meaning, if it's hot outside, make sure you've got, a perf leather jacket instead of just one with vents, or a lot of mesh textile for warmer times of the year. Mesh gloves. Don't think you can get by with wearing winter gloves on a 80 plus degree summer day touring. It's not going to work. And the same thing goes for cold. If you've got four season stuff, great. I recommend what I usually do when I do ride in the winter, when there's no ice or snow or anything on the road, and it's a fairly pleasant day for the most part. One of the things that I make sure I do is I put, even though I do have some four season riding gear, not only really good and warm winter gloves, but another thing to also do underneath your riding pants and or your riding jacket is I wear base layers underneath it, because it's one of those things. If you leave your house, or if you're on a trip for the day and you're leaving your hotel, you can always take it off. But if you didn't put it on to start with, it doesn't take very long, especially the cold on a motorcycle, to really get to you and lose focus and lose concentration, and that's a very dangerous thing. Motorcycles, once you've been riding long enough, almost feels like an extension of your body, but you still have to focus and maintain control of it at all times, because that one little time you don't, depending on how fast or how slow you're going, it's not going to be a fun day. But that's my number one thing, is wear the appropriate clothing, whether it's hot or cold or whatever. Especially good, either really thick winter gloves for the colder months, or maybe like a medium one, that's kind of good from fall to winter and early spring, with maybe some glove liners underneath, because I'm here to tell you, once your hands get cold, like even riding on more or less a little highway like this, where you're not up and down on the throttle and not taking off from red lights and stuff, and not going through twisty back roads and stuff like that, even once you are just up at regular highway speed and just riding and enjoying being out riding, once your hands start getting cold and they start aching, they start really being real stiff and numb and stuff, it's not a good thing, because that's your main connection to your bike besides your foot pegs, are your hand controls. One thing that I actually use in the winter months, it's by RS Tai Chi. It's actually two words, RS and then Tai Chi, is a neck warmer. I'm not really a big fan of balaclava, so to speak, the thing that makes you look like a little ninja, then you put your helmet on. They tend to always bunch up no matter what once you put your helmet on, and they're always like in the corner of my eye, or like, they never seem to work well. But one thing that I bought, I don't remember the exact name for it, but I do know the brand name. It's just a neck warmer, that's what it does. It goes, it's long enough to go all the way down underneath the collar of your jacket and go all the way up, excuse me, a little bit past your chin, almost by your mouth. And I tell you what, of all the winter gear I have, that is by far the warmest thing I have. It actually, the particular one that I own and that I'm speaking of, it actually has some kind of chemical reaction the fabric does to your skin, and when it touches your skin, I guess maybe your body temperature radiates heat to it, and it actually not only gets that warmer, but makes your skin warmer at the same time. And they're only like, $35, $40 US. It's crazy. But I don't remember the exact name, but if you're interested in one, it's a fantastic winter option to, and even on days where it's not real cold, commuting to work in the mornings when it's starts to get into the lower 50s. I'm definitely glad that I have it and wear it then, because that's one thing on a bike, at least the particular bike that I ride, which is a 07 FC6, is that all that wind blast on your neck coming right off the top of the windshield, if it's cold, it doesn't take long to be miserable. It's almost immediate, like, oh, it's cold. So that's my number one thing. My number two thing that I think is essential for touring is earplugs. Now, if you've got custom molded earplugs or just regular old cheap little sponge ones or whatever, believe it or not, earplugs on a motorcycle, touring especially, and I've got into the habit myself of wearing them, and I pretty much wear them all the time, no matter if I'm just riding down the road or going to work and back for the day. But earplugs actually, believe it or not, are one of the more contributing factors to you getting fatigued touring. Is you have all that wind noise around your helmet, and that rushes around your helmet whether you're wearing a full face or not. Full faces up at interstate speeds are still loud, but it's something like, I think 110 to like 125 decibels at 60 miles an hour. Studies show it's pretty remarkable. But if you just wear earplugs, and once you get used to wearing them, you really don't realize they're there, and that actually keeps you from being fatigued, because of hearing that loud a noise all the time. It actually it gets uncomfortable and almost makes you tired of the noise, and supposedly that tires you out just as much as all the being out in the element and moving the bike around and getting hit by all the wind blasts, just as much, if not more. Third tip is I have for you today for a good setup for touring is some type of motorcycle Bluetooth device, whether it's built in your helmet, whether it's add-on like the one I have, which is a Sena 10S, whether it's a Cardo or there's several different brands out there. I can't name them all off the top of my head, but not only can you listen to music while you're riding down the road instead of just listen to the air move around your helmet. Some people listen to music while they ride, some people don't. I myself, I do, and that's my choice and my opinion on it. That's another topic a lot of people argue about, really, I think. But not only, even if you don't listen to music, you can use, you can Bluetooth pair it to either your smartphone app that you're using or a standalone GPS unit, and get turn-by-turn directions, and not take your eyes off the road to look down to see how far you've got to the next turn, or how much longer it is, or whatever. That's a real big safety thing, in my opinion, is to keep your eyes up at all times and aware of your surroundings. But not only if you don't use it for either one, what you can actually use it for once you have it paired to your phone and figure out all the controls on it. Most of them, typically, I say most of them, not all, especially the add-on helmet ones, most of them will have some type of voice control, and you can have presets set into it, and if something was to happen, which would be very unfortunate, say you were laid in a ditch somewhere and couldn't move and couldn't get your phone to call for help, if that's paired to your phone, then you can use it to either call a friend or a family member, or maybe even 911, as long as you have cell phone coverage. And I think of those three basic things, other than being aware of surroundings and really taking a MSF course and really learning how to ride and not riding above your ability. I think that's where a lot of people make mistakes. They get a new 600, so to speak, or a fairly good 600, if not almost new, and once they get their license, they ride for a little while and get used to it, and then they ride above their ability too fast, on back roads, playing with friends that have rode for years. And while some people can get by with that and be okay, in my opinion, it's probably not a big deal, because you don't, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but in my opinion, you're not connected enough with the bike, and it's not like second nature to you to start, running 80 mile an hour, dragging knee and dragging peg. So just, be patient, pace yourself, and you'll be rewarded in the long run. But that's about all I got for today on today's topic of being safe and / touring tips on a motorcycle. If you would like to see other content from me, I have several other kind of videos, have regular moto vlogs with rider advice and gear reviews that I currently own and have thoroughly tested, some scenic drone footage with my DJI Phantom 3 Professional in my area, some first ride bike stuff that I've done, and some scenic places that I've rode my personal bike to and enjoyed going to there and back and sharing with you all. So on that, guys, take it easy, ride safe. If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. See you.